So tomorrow we're taking a test and the topic is linear functions. So I'm going to do two videos, one just simply about rate of change, which is target 5.1. And the second video is going to be on 5.3 about writing equations of lines. And this should actually say point slope as well. So if you don't think you need to know how to do any of these things, you can skip through around the videos, or you can just go straight to the answer key, which is also posted on Schoology. All right, so let's begin with rate of change. And so what I'm noticing is this is a story about the number of gallons in a bathtub and how much time goes on. So remember, rate of change is about relationships between two things changing. So what I see is the number of gallons in the ancient bathtub decreasing and the number of minutes going by. So time is ticking and the pool is emptying. And so the first question is find the slope of the line. So what we typically do in these kinds of situations is find 2 points. So the 2 points I notice, I'm just going to use these two endpoints because I find that those are going to be the easiest ones. But you can simply use any point on the line that seems to make sense for you. I'm just going to use the two edges because I think that's easiest for me. So at this point in time, there are 20 gallons in the pool or bathtub, whatever this is. And at this point of the pot, that point on the dot, there it has 0 gallons. So what just happened is we just lost 20 gallons. So we lost 20 gallons. And notice a lot of kids will do like down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And yes, it did go down 10 blocks, but each block is worth 2 gallons. So I really want to pay attention to the numbers here. So I lost 20 gallons. You want to put a little arrow. That's the rise part of the slope, except it's decreasing. But I lost 20 gallons and it took me 10 minutes. So what you can write is negative 20 over 10, or you can write negative 2 over 1, or you can just write negative 2. All those mean the same thing. 20 divided by 10 is 2, but there's got to be a minus sign somewhere. And so the meaning of that slope is that I'm losing 20 gallons every 10 minutes. Most people like the smaller number better, which basically tells us that we're losing 2 gallons of water every 1 minute. And so notice I'm using both the numbers 2 and 1 in my response, see 2 and 1, and I'm using both of the words. So we've got gallons and minutes in my description. And again, doesn't matter which of the numbers that you're using, doesn't matter which points on the graph you're using, as long as everything is consistent with the line, meaning like you're not picking this point here because it's not on the line. Find the y-intercept. As we know, all y-intercepts are on the y-axis, so that's the y-intercept right there. And the official point of there is 0, 20, just like in linear regression. Explain the meaning. So 20 gallons at the start, so at time 0, at the beginning, before draining, the capacity of the bathtub. You can say any of those things. All right, and now it says write the equation. So we've got the beginning, which is 20, and we're losing 2 gallons. So again, just walk you through what I did there. Begin with 20 gallons. I'm losing 2 gallons, but I'm losing 2 gallons every minute, so it doesn't make sense to just 20 minus 2. We need an x there. Or if you prefer, a nice other alternative is 20 minus 20 over 10x. So again, these are the y-intercepts, the number that you begin with. And then the loss, the slope, is the number that you wrote from here. And you can use this value or you can use that value. It doesn't matter to me as long as they're the ones that are paired with x. And that's just a nice story of how to do these when there's a story along with it. And again, what made it more meaningful was just really paying attention to the units on the side here and using words in your explanation. These next couple problems are pretty straightforward because there's no story here. So when you do slope from a graph, it's just rise over run. That's something that kids have been thinking about for a long time. And you can use literally any any points on the line as long as you can decipher what they are. So like right there is a nice point that I think I can identify. And this one looks pretty good too. And you can either walk from point A to B or you can walk from B to A. Totally inconsequential. If you like this point here, you can walk from A to C. You can walk from C to A, B to C, C to B. Literally anything that you want. It'll all turn out to be the same. And I'll do a couple of examples. So let's just say from A to B. So to get from A to B, I'll have to go down 1, 2, 3. Most kids don't like the little bloops there though. So down 1, 2, 3. So I went down 3, which is a -3, just to keep that in mind. And then 1, 2, 3, 4. So 4 this way. So I went down 3 and this way 4. The up and down movement's always on top and the sideways movement's always on bottom. Down 3 is a -3. Right 4 is a +4. So that's my slope. If we want, we can walk from a different angle. Let's do, I don't know, C to B. So if I walk from C to B, I'll go 1, 2, 3. So I walked up 3, and then I walked 1, 2, 3, 4 to the left. Up 3 is a +3. Left 4 is a -4. And notice these two are the exact same. I don't know if I like that color, the highlighting. These two responses are the exact same. The minus sign is just in a different place, and that's okay. So you can literally use any points on the line. 2 points. First thing I'm going to do is put them into a chart because that's a strategy that I like. Because the rate of change from 2 points, and again, I'm changing nothing about them. 1, 8 in order, left to right, 5, 12 underneath, and then I just figure out how does the rate of change is how something is changing. So I'm going to see how they grow. 8 gets to 12 by adding 4. Another way to do that would be to subtract 12 minus 8, which gives you 4 as well. This is also a growth of 4, and so the rate of change is this value divided by this value. So we're comparing how the blue changes to the green. And in this case, it's 4 over 4, which is the same thing as 1. So you could say either one of those. Another way to do this would be to make a little graph and just try to estimate, 1, 8 would be like somewhere around here. 5, 12 would be somewhere over here. Maybe actually a little less. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5, 12 would be over here. And if you do a little graph, you just have to be careful because you want to be sort of accurate, because if you're going to do 2 points, you can do how far you go up from here to here. And I'd be going up 1, 2, 3, 4 to get from 8 to 12, because this was a height of 8 to get to a height of 12. And you run this way 4, and so you get 4 over 4 as well. Something else that you can do is if there's a graph somewhere else on the page, you can plot 1, 8, and 5, 12 somewhere on the graph here and use this graph to kind of help you do this strategy. But anything that works as long as you get 4 over 4, which is 1. Okay, to make the slope undefined is you want this growth to be 0. So if I put -5, 10 here, if we want the slope to be undefined, this has to grow by 0, which means this number has to be the same. So this number is the same, and this number is different. Any number that you want, so I'm going to choose, 20, and so voila, there's my undefined slope. An undefined slope would look like this. -5, 10 would be here, -5, 20 would be here, and so that line isn't going anywhere. This is an example of an undefined slope. Okay, so that concludes this video. If you want to watch me do questions from 5.3, you can click on the next link.